Good evening, dearest CCI family. So this particular webinar chosen, the topic looks little different from what all we do because we are always into academics. CCI is known for that. Every Thursday is academics. But this particular webinar is not based on our academics. But surprisingly, I would like to tell you that we have 294 pre-webinar registrations for such a header, which is not academic. So this shows that this webinar has caught the attention of the people, and they are here because I believe this is also need of the hour. A doctor basically meets only them who are in trouble. Whoever comes to you, nobody who is happy will come to you. Sir, hello, sir, I have come to you because I have no fever. Thank you, sir. No one will tell you that. I have come to you, sir, and I don't have cough, sir. Only they come to you if they are having some trouble or problem. Otherwise, nobody approaches the doctor. So a doctor is like a blotting paper. He has to listen to only sad stories. Okay, rarest instance, they may arrive having one wedding card of their family event or some other. But that is very rare. That is like 0.01%. 99.99% a doctor is surrounded or approached always with problems. So how a doctor like a blotting paper after absorbing all these things, how it will not reflect on his life? It will definitely reflect on his life. But in spite of that, a doctor is the only person on earth who remains calm, who sticks on to his nerves, who manages the circumstances. There is nobody, I believe, who can manage a scenario around like a doctor does. And not even advocate for that matter, I would tell you. Why? Because a doctor is always handling the situation so cool and comfortably that any other professionalist in his place would have lost his temper any time. So this particular webinar, I and Atri had a discussion that it is the time of the hour, that the medical fraternity is no more considered a service, but it is considered an industry nowadays. And the relationship, I started my practice 23 years ago. Then it was considered a service, and it was like a service only. Now, after 23 years of my practice, if I can see this, I can see that the transformation has come down, that they consider as an industry, a service provider. And very good example to prove that is we have to apply for trade license. So that means ours is a trade. So all such things are happening, and you know that we have to fetch so many certificates to run our practice. And there is the tension, and which certificate is on renewal on which date, you never know. You have to check it repeatedly. You have to go up with your patients. You have to do your rounds. You come back home. You do not impose your tension, your stress over your family members. Instead, the moment you arrive, they will approach you with some of their problems, that this is not there, that is not there, and you have to handle that also. So all this is a doctor's headache to manage. Coming to the header of the webinar, I and Atri decided that we'll go ahead with this webinar, but what should be the header? Then suddenly it got ignited in my mind: celebrate life and life will celebrate with you. So what does that mean? We have a beautiful panel here from all over India. That's the beauty of CCI, isn't it? When you see a CCI panel, you see faces from all over the India. See, there is Dr. Richa Gupta from Tamil Nadu. There is Vikas Oswal from Mumbai. There is Nitin Abhyankar from Pune. There is Atri Gangopadhyay from Ranchi. There is Keerat Sibia from Ludhiana. There is Ravi Dosi from Indore. And myself, Dr. Krishna from Davangere. So you can see the entire India here. So what is celebrate life and life will celebrate with you? I would like to tell it in very brief. Later the panel will take over everything. See, you have to cultivate an activity other than your profession which will make you feel happy. This is the simplest thing. It could be whatever. It could be listening to music. It could be you are into habit of writing. You are into a habit of reading books, not medical books, other books other than medical. So if you are into habit of anything else, you go for a workout, you go for a walking, even a plain walk also. So you have to celebrate your life, and you should give some time span for your life, mingling with friends, mingling with professional people in conferences and in some events, mingling with your relatives and family, go watching a movie with your family. So you need to celebrate your life, and only one advice is, around the clock, do not keep thinking regarding the profession. You are watching a movie and you are thinking that I admitted a case and what must have happened here. So go ahead, if you are pious, if you feel calmness, everything, visiting temples, mosque, masjid, gurudwara, you do that. But whatever it is which gives you mental peace, do it repeatedly, at least in 1 week. You do it at least once, or at least. That is my suggestion. And meeting friends, having some childhood friends is very good. And very important thing I would tell you, refrain from mobile um, at least 3 hours per day. Something like, no, I will not connect my mobile hotspot round the clock. Only when I am free, I will connect the mobile hotspot. People would tell that I have sent a WhatsApp to you. Because once I open, there are 25 CCA WhatsApp groups. I'll get thousands of messages. So only in free time, I'll open and see. So whenever there comes a beep, you'll be tempted to see it.
Recording in progress.
So I always do it that I do not keep my mobile data on all the time. I only do it whenever I'm free, comfortably, 2 to 3 hours, probably morning 30 minutes and evening 30 minutes and night around 2 hours. So that is also very important, because mobile is the greatest hazard of mankind nowadays. It has done so many good things. For example, today we are here because of WhatsApp only, that CCI created. So that's some good things. Let's observe the good things, and let us leave and dissolve the bad things. So with this, I would continue Atri. He's moderating today. I'd like to tell Atri to go ahead, and best wishes panel. Thanks for having me here. I refrain always coming to live, because I consider a director is better behind the screen and not on the screen. Okay.
Since our director is kind enough to come, before you leave, just one question to you. As far as our understanding, you do not hail from a capital city or from an airport city. Still, what may be the secret behind your charm of pulling a nationwide pulmonologist to form CCI? And how do you run it so smoothly without any dispute for the last so many years? After that, you are free to direct us from the background.
Atri, no charm in this. Actually, it is humbleness, I tell you. This story goes 15 years back. Those were the days when I used to repeatedly attend international conferences, national conferences, of course, state, plenty. And those days, not even the WhatsApp has arrived. Such situation also, I kept collecting the phone numbers of all the doctors to whom I met, pulmonologists, abroad also, in India also. So later, when I had so many numbers, and I used to call them here or there, and I used to keep in touch with them. That is actually the main logic. So they never forgot me. And we used to meet whenever else. They used to greet me so happily. Then once the WhatsApp started with only 50 capacity, I started one group. Then it became exceeded 50. I had to make one more 50 WhatsApp group. And then I called it as just Chest Club. It was not named as CCA then. Then it started and it grew up. WhatsApp also helped us by expanding its input, like incoming numbers of members. So then now we are 3,500, and Jai Shri Krishna for that. It's not this Krishna, it is him who is doing this. And the reason that there is no dispute in CCI and running smoothly is, I consider everyone as my brothers and sisters. See, obviously here, everybody, either they are my brother or my sister. and I talk to them like that. I act with them like that, and I am like that. It's not we show it, and everyone feels that warmth. Um, if you consider you are a family, there comes no question of dispute. If you think yourself as an association, and if you think that you are the head of the association and all that, it is not going to sustain for a long time. I do touch the feet of elders physically when I meet them publicly before everyone in any conference. And earlier I used to refrain, but youngsters come and they try to touch my feet. I try to stay away from that. Now it has, in spite of whatever, this touching feet of habit, mine touching the elders, the youngest touching me. So that shows itself that there's a family feeling. And this happens either with the teachers when they met them post college life. They touch the feet of their teachers or their parents. But an unknown person like me, living in a tiny city which doesn't have an airport, Davangere, people tell me that a few of them have heard regarding Davangere after CCI. So anybody can do anything if you have humbleness to achieve it, and that's it. But beyond me, the people who are in CCI have been so cordial to keep the show running, like everyone here, and who are not there here also. So that is very important. You could be humble, but the people around you, if they are like having jealous filled with them, that becomes very difficult. So whatever, long live CCI, long live India, long live Chess Council of India. Jai Hind, Jai Shri Krishna. May I take a leave? Atri, you can begin.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
So before we move into the question and answers, there is a gentleman with us who is a wonderful actor and he does some skits. So we shall present a skit by the gentleman over here. Over to you.
Hi, a very good evening to all of you. And I would like to thank respected Krishna sir and the whole back office team of CCI for organizing this excellent webinar on life. Life, how wonderful it is, and how by living it fully, we can give fully to life and also get back fully from life. There is a small paragraph from a song which I like very much. ओ बाबूजी, अरे ओ बेटा जी, किस्मत की हवा कभी नरम कभी गरम, कभी नरम नरम कभी गरम गरम, कभी गरम नरम नरम गरम. I think that actually just sums it all up. If we actually look at our daily lives from the moment that we get up in the morning to our daily routine and coming back home, the unpredictability of life is huge, and at times we get so caught up in the mundane that we're actually not able to appreciate what it gives us. The small happinesses that daily happen in our OPD, the small things that our patients share with us, and the various happinesses that we can get from them. Often we get to hear very good stories about patients and their doctors, and I really appreciate them. Particularly these airplanes life-saving accidents, they actually prove that in a situation of dire need, a doctor is the best friend that you can have. And believe me, be it at the airport, at the movie theater, at the shopping mall, if any XYZ comes to know that you're a doctor, he definitely does give you a second look. And that specialty is something which adds to the nobility of the profession. That is why I think we can give a lot to life and also get a lot from it in return. Being happy is the essence of existence. Spreading that happiness is our moral responsibility. We all do it in our own way. I know very many people who do a lot of charity. I know a lot of people who do a lot of religious work, and I also know of a lot of my own professional seniors who have done extremely amazing things which I cannot even imagine. I know of people who are without any dearth or any want of recognition helping people. So, something which I have recognized and realized in my short span on this lovely planet Earth is that helping people, trying to maintain peace, tranquility is something which really helps give back to life what life has given us in abundance. Family, our children, parents, wife, sisters, brothers are an immense source of happiness to us. And I think at every nook and corner, if you look back, then it is our family which primarily comes into our memories. We as doctors are often faced with several situations. I have a habit of making videos on those situations. And I always tend to bring out something interesting or something comical out of it so that we can actually see that howsoever serious a situation, actually we can always try to find that lighter note and try to have some hidden happiness from that particular situation. I would like to share this video of mine on tuberculosis, which was liked by many and even picked up by the RNTCP guys who are playing at several of their centers.
हेलो डायबिटीज भाई। अरे थैंक यू यार, आपने मेरा बर्थडे याद रखा। हाँ तो आ जाओ, पार्टी करते हैं। मैंने दारू भैया को और HIV एड्स भैया को ही बुला रखा है। अरे आ जाओ आ जाओ। देखो धंधा अभी तो जोरों पे है, पर दिक्कतें बहुत आ रही है। तरह तरह के रेगुलेशन लगा रहे मेरे ऊपर। हकार की जांच हो रही है, छुपने की जगह भी नहीं छोड़ी। आजकल सीबीनाट की जांच करा लेते हैं फ्री में। हाँ, अरे सरकार ने तो बहुत पहरे लगा रखे हैं। स्टाफ टीवी अभियान छेड़ रखा है मेरे खिलाफ। डर नहीं है, लोगों में अज्ञानता होते अभी भी। कोई खांसी का लोड नहीं लेता, और लोग मेरा नाम तो समाज में लेने से भी डरते हैं। हाँ अब देखो भाई, गंदा है पर धंधा है। ये कर तो रहे हैं, पर सरकार ने अपने खिलाफ फ्री में दवाइयां बांटना भी चालू कर दी है। लोगों को पैसे तक दे रहा है ताकि मेरे को मार दें। मेरे ख्याल से तो आके इस बार बर्थडे अच्छे से मना लो। अगली बार हो सकता है स्टॉप टीवी के चलते ये भी ना हो।
So I hope what you like what I did with tuberculosis. Truly, tuberculosis is a demon. The props which I go to take, the particular shop which we have at Rambagh at Indore, Nataraj, is a very traditional colony of Indore. It is a Maharashtrian dominant colony, and as you know, Indore was a part of the Holkar dynasty, which was ruled by the Maratha Empire. So we have a lot of traditionality and modernity at my particular hometown, which also has the credit of being the cleanest city of Indore. It adds to this particular social fervor of mine. I tend to often look at our WhatsApp groups in the morning and find a lot of interesting discussions going on. But at the same time, I feel that there are several situations where a lot of comic element is required more in our day-to-day lives and day-to-day professional activities too. Particularly, there are points where transformation helps me carry that comedy message across. That is why I love doing my acts with props. And I also love to do group activities, means in the sense, do acts with my children, do acts with my friends. My whole clinic staff is more famous than me. And you know, outside sitting at the reception, actually my elder brother Lakhan Bhaiya, who has been with me for several years, and even Krishna Bhaiya, who has been with me since the birth of my elder son, they actually have given autographs to people at times because they were so impressed by their acting. So I feel that these sort of things give a lot of content not only to us, but when we involve a lot of other people, it gives a lot of happiness and a sense of responsibility to them also. Both of them used to consume tobacco, at times country liquor also, but post these particular video making sessions, I have been at least able to de-addict themselves, and to a huge extent, several of my known friends, family, and patients too. After every video that we place on the World Wide Web at several social media platforms, I get messages from several people. I am a Rotarian and I am a part of several social platforms, so I get feedback that the message that we have communicated is actually passing down to people, and they are actually reciprocating back and promising that they will leave it. I think that's all we can do. We really, as doctors, can't reinforce the point physically or to the grassroots level, but we can keep on asking, assessing, and advising our patients. And I feel providing them a message in a very humorous way is something which carries forward much better and helps us in returning what this life gives us in abundance. I have made several communiques through video messages, but the special ones are those when I have transformed into a female. I dress up in that particular attire, and at that time, I really understand how difficult it is. Nowadays, Dream Girl 1 and Dream Girl 2 are earning a lot at the box office. My videos don't earn me anything yet, but I'm still trying to hit the golden target of a 10,000, or maybe, even achieving more than 1,000 followers on YouTube. I am trying very hard for it. But still, I make those videos in the attire of a woman, or particularly on International Women's Day or on Mother's Day. I have realized that it helps us to connect with a lot of our female patients. And you will be surprised that people that you can never even think have anything technical in them actually look at your communication and tend to give that feedback to you कि सर मजा आ गया, सर बात समझ में आ गई. एक पेशेंट तो ऐसा था which I had seen in initial days of my practice. He never came back to me for follow-up. He did not have a very good notion about me. But after 4 or 5 years, after seeing one of my videos, that guy actually turned back to my clinic and came and thanked me, said कि आपकी बात थोड़ी 5-6 साल बाद समझ में आई, पर समझ में आ गई. So thank you, doctor. So that's what I would like to say. See, a purely done effort in whatsoever way. I make videos, you can do it in your own style. But I feel the essence of life is in giving back in much more proportions than what it has given to you. So I would just like to end my topic by presenting one more video message of mine, which we had made on International Women's Day. And I hope with my short communication, I have been able to spread this wonderful positive energy from the land, the city of Indore, the city of Khajrana Ganeshji, the city of Rajwada, the cleanest city, a city with a lot of positivity, which I try to inculcate in myself, my words, and my actions. Thank you.
हाँ दादी, ओ दादी, हाँ हाँ, हैप्पी वुमेन्स डे. और माँ को भी बोल देना और बुआ को भी बोल देना. क्या कर रही है? और तूने अपने वैक्सीन लगा लिए नहीं लगाए? हाँ, और 1 साल वाला भी 5 साल वाला भी दोनों लगा लियो. हाँ, और माँ को बोलना बुब्बू के चक्कर में ज्यादा धूल मिट्टी में न करे. जब देखो तब दिवाली पे खांसी होने चालू हो जाती है, डॉक्टर को जाके दमे का दिखवा दे. हाँ हाँ, अच्छा मैं रखती हूँ. आजकल तो क्या बताऊं, पानी पूरी खाने में भी टेंशन है. पानी पूरी वाले के पास जाओ, छींकता रहता है, खांसता रहता है, उसको ही नहीं पता क्या क्या तो भी वायरल फैले हुए हैं आजकल. अरे वुमेन्स डे है, पर पार्टी भी अकेली करनी पड़ रही है. मास्क नहीं है ना, क्या करूं. कोई नहीं, हैप्पी वुमेन्स डे. आप लोग भी ध्यान रखो, बीमारी उसकी जगह है, सावधानी उसकी जगह, पर शौक तो उसकी जगह है.
Good evening, my friends. I am Dr. Nitin Abhyankar from Pune, and I'm very glad to join this very, very important discussion on work-life balance. I'll start sharing the screen. You are looking at my parents, Mr. Yashwant Abhyankar and Shashikala Abhyankar. And he is an engineer, or was I'm a retired engineer, and she's a retired teacher. So as you can see, I come from a fairly humble middle class background. And this is how I looked when I was maybe 6 or 7 years. This is how I looked when I was in second MBBS. And this is how I looked. I'm not really smoking there, but this is how I looked when I was just in the college. And this is how my wife, Madhuvanti, looked when she was in the college. this is how we look more or less today, because this is only 2 years back, and we've still managed to look the same. Today we are 59, and I hope you look young enough. So this is our first daughter, the first child, that is Sai. And now she's married and she's in Germany. She did philosophy and then now is learning coding in Germany. So that's how life takes you. She's married to her childhood friend called Bharat Marathe. So she is now Sai Marathe. This is how she looked, stoic. And this is one of her more pictures. And this is Sai, and this is our second child, who looked very, very chubby at that time. Is Sushrut, and Advanti is doting on him, as you can see. This is once again Sai grown up a little further and Sushrut growing up. And this is one of our family portraits done on a computer, which was popular at that time. And well, I joined my hospital somewhere in 2000. My practice started in 1990, and I joined my hospital somewhere in 2000. And well, I'm not trying to show you my hospital or anything of that sort, but the fun moments in our lives. This is one of the cricket matches that we attended. And this is Sai, and this one is Bharat, whom she is married to. I know this is Sushrut, and this is her first pizza that she ever made from scratch. This is Sushrut this year, just when he was going to get ready to get his MA in audiovisual communications, and now he's working in Bangalore in Hector Beverages, and he's trying to sell almonds and whatnot to so many people. This is my friend Mukul, and he is the music director, and this is now brings me to the work-life balance part of my presentation, whatever it is. So I am a poet as my second career, more or less now, and Mukul is my music director, and we have worked with the likes of Swapnil Bandodkar, Bela Shende, Pandit Sajio Becker. We have recorded with Ranjana Taijo Becker. Dr. Asmita Dikshit has been our core singer, and we also have recorded with Shan, one singer. So that makes it fairly interesting, I guess. And this is again the songs in that particular album. I have published one book of poetry in Marathi, and that is called Gita Tamaja. The Misu Metu, which I am referring to, is Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. That is the group I am on. 50 doctors who are avidly addicted to music, and I am one of them. And we exchange music every day, and we breathe in it and drink music every day. So that sort of talks a little about how my poetry orients. This is a little about me in the backside of that particular book. 2 more books are ready. Just for the heck, I'm putting my first successful lung transplant patient here. And I see that, yes, that sort of brings the work is important, but the friendship that I share with him is also equally important. And these are my Pune team, some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So there is Dr. Ajit, Mahavir, Balasaheb, Mahendra, Parag, and of course me. So that's how we gel together and do so many things together. One of the moments of pride, which was work in COVID getting recognized, and the Rotary Club in my area gave me this award, and it's very, very, very precious to me. As precious as the garden that I enjoy and relax with, and I keep looking at these throughout the COVID time, and after that I've enjoyed it. These are 2 of the new things which happened to my life, because Madhuvanti's work during COVID went through the roof. And I learned cooking because I had to, because otherwise I wouldn't be fed. So I started feeding her in the evenings, and mornings she would do it. Sometimes even today I do that. So this is one of my other preparations. So I've become a reasonable good cook who can cook anything ranging from pasta to chicken to whatever you want, you name it. And this is our evacuation time upstairs in the terrace that we have. We lost our father-in-law. My father-in-law, this Madhvant, is here. And in his memory, we've started a cabin on the ground floor. My clinic is on the first floor. And this is just a memory of that particular event. It's worth adding because that adds both work and life together in this context. This is a picture from Sarasbagh, where me and Madhuvanti now, and I've been going there for last 15, 20 years every day. And these lotuses represent the poetry that is in me, the magic that life brings beyond medicine. And I make it a point to go there every day, and it's worth doing it. This is one of the awards which I received at the hands of Honorable Minister. And it's a very proud memory that I got it from the Economic Times, and I'm just showing it there because that's the part of the work and the social recognition part component of it. But what I enjoy the most and what we enjoy the most is nowadays when we are relaxed. This is where we sit in our on the terrace, and yes, of course, we are now empty nesters, but Sushrut now is in Bangalore, Sai is in Germany, and we are with two of other kids that we have. Both of them are very, very, very pretty and very cool, and they are cats, of course. So this is our last get together with Sushrut in Bangalore. I'm just keeping a glimpse of it just for the memory part of it. And this is our last marriage anniversary picture. And you can see that at the age of, both of us are nearing 60, 59 completed, and we still look reasonably okay. I wouldn't say we look 30, but I would say maybe 50, 55, something like that. This is our new eco-friendly electric venture, and the first ride into it by Madhuvanti. And of course, you can see that how overwhelmed we are by the cats and the dogs. Two cats and a dog are part and parcel of our life, and we enjoy them like the new grandkids that we hopefully may get one day from Sushrut. Let's see. Sai doesn't plan to get children at this point in time, at least. So we try to keep young, both of us, and well, I think we are managing it reasonably well. And this is once again a picture from Sarasbagh, which tells us that life, as much as work, is important, is to be lived, and is to be enjoyed every day. This is just a sort of a starter for the discussion that we are going to have eventually. So I hope I have given you a glimpse of my current life and a little bit of my background, which will help us in getting into the discussion with our moderator and Krishna Bhai. So thank you very much for your patient listening, and I'll sign off.
Wow, what a fantastic beginning. It was reminding me like Virender Sehwag batting in the power play first 10-15 overs, smashing the ball all over. Such a fantastic beginning. So our remaining panelists also have a good job to match the previous performers. I would want to move from Pune to Mumbai, Dr. Vikas Oswal. His name is known in tuberculosis care not only in India but across the European Union and worldwide. And sometimes his name spells hope in tuberculosis. So I would request your take on today's topic. And I have come to know that you are a very big champion of yoga. So kindly put in something regarding yoga also while you talk on this.
First, I would like to thank CCI for making my wife happy, to be very frank, because more than anyone else, like she was happiest, hearing the topic which I got from CCI, that is to talk on yoga and fitness. So because you and on fitness doesn't go hand in hand, but still, since you got this topic, it is like she achieved everything today because she was behind me since 10 years. She took 10 years to transform me from what I was and now what I am. So I dedicate a lot to her. I actually, owe many things to her. That is for sure. It was not. It surely wouldn't have been possible if she wouldn't have pushed me so much. That's the frank thing which I'll have to put everyone in front of everyone. Well, today we have reached moon. We all have reached moon, but somewhere we are missing to, or missing to understand how to live life. Still, we are failing to live life on earth, to be very frank. We all are just participating in race right now. We all just want to win in race. Each and every one of us need, wish and will, and they perform to their best to win. That's not a wrong thing. That's very good. But don't get disheartened if you don't come first. That's something wrong. So we need to accept those failures in life because these failures will teach you more and you will give your better next time. Science and technology, we all know, have indeed provided us with numerous comforts and conveniences. But achieving inner peace, for that, it often requires more introspective this thing and a personal, what you call as, it's a personal journey. So you need to walk on that journey on your own. You need to understand your inner peace, your inner thing, and do things accordingly. That's very important. And yoga, it's an ancient Indian practice. We Indians were the founders of yogas right now. And if you see the correct meaning of yoga, yoga basically it is like to unite or to join together is yoga. So yoga basically is nothing but the union of mind, body, and our spirit. So that's really important in nowadays, in today's day, that you just see within yourself and try something and be your own and just do something for your own. That is very important. Initially, I was a person who used to accept all my calls, each and every reply to each and every messages, used to be awake entire night, used to attend all the lectures, let it be 3 lectures in a day. But then somewhere I was missing a lot on many things. So, but I thanks my wife, my partner, who taught me the way to live. And trust me, at given point of time, I feel contented. I really feel have achieved everything. But that has happened only when you have actually started practicing it and when you are actually doing it. And when I am seeing the difference in my own self, my own confidence is boosting up day by day. And now I feel I have achieved it. I have achieved everything. Let it be my physical, let it be my physical fitness, my inner peace, let it be my practice, let it be my family time, let it be balancing other things in life. So that have been possible only after organizing a lot in life, changing, rescheduling many things, and actually peeping in my own self and bring your peace within myself. Would like to just share a small video if you permit me, Dr. Atri. I would like to share the screen over here. is my screen visible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So these are some of the clips of my yoga poses, which trust me, I was never even able to touch my knees. That's the fact. I'm not exaggerating. I was unable to touch my feet, knees. But now you can just see a transformation. These are some of the yoga poses which were being taught to me by my wife. And I was being made to do all these things. But today it has become a hobby. So our day doesn't start without yoga now. A person who was unable to bend down, even touch his knee joint, but now these are the poses what I have, what she has made me doing, achieve it. And this all is within a period of 2 years. It's not an overnight journey. So these are some of the asanas which I am able to do. And she is the one. That's my wife, Dr. Oswal. She's an ophthalmologist, and she is my lovely daughter. So Saturday, Sunday, we have made a rule. There's like she has holiday on Saturday and Sunday, my daughter. So we don't do alone, but we involve her also, engage her also, and that's how somewhere, we actually spend some good time together. And that's the bonding now between both of us. This was me just 4 years back, and that's me after yoga. Yoga practice of 2 years, daily yoga. That's me exactly 6 years back, and that's me, the recent photograph. So yes, so not only yoga, any exercise, any small me time in life is needed. It's required.
Wonderful, Dr. Vikas. So that's a very strong message. Not just yoga, any exercise, any me time, but regularly. From Mumbai, I would want to move south to Tamil Nadu, Vellore. Dr. Richa, ma'am, lots of youngsters who are making their careers, sometimes they get a chance to change their country. Either the spouse lives there or they get a career or training opportunity there. So in your life, you had a change of country twice. Once when you were younger, once when you were slightly little more older. So tell us, what can these impact in life with respect to personal relations, family relations, profession, etc.?
Thank you, CCI, for inviting me for this and giving me an opportunity to share some of the, views and thoughts. So, see, whatever you are doing or whatever you are thinking, you have to draw a line and you have to see what is in your limits. When you change a country, it is a whole lot of things. Everything changes: the food, the climate, the surroundings, the cultural, everything changes out, and it's really a big decision. So we went as a family. We were in UK for 2.5 years, and then we decided that we should come back because we were not feeling back at home. When it comes to, there is no harm in going or be ambitious is what I would say. Nowadays, if you look at, if a girl, sorry, I'm bringing this up, but if a female or a woman says that I'm ambitious and want to do, want to go abroad, want to break the shackles and want to do something extra, it is being considered as something of shame that, how can you do that? You have to get married. Or if you are married, then they will say you have children, you have family to look after and things like that. Whereas at the same time, if there is a male person who is looking forward and who says that I'm ambitious, that is taken as a proud thing by the whole society, by the people who are all around saying, okay, wow, that is how it should be, So there is a difference in the society. Now, coming to the youngsters who wants to take the call, yes, why not? But take a call India is progressing so much, and I think we have lot more opportunity. And I would say, why did we came back? Because when we went in, we found that whatever we were doing back in our country, it was certainly much less what we got the opportunity back in UK in NHS. And we thought we need to give more to the country, we need to do more, and we came back. A decision has to be a very conscious decision, and if you are especially committed, or if you have a family, if you're married, then it should be a joint decision. I believe you should not take it on your own, because it should be in the interest of everyone. Having said that, going for short term, learning new skills, coming back is probably something we should look forward. And I think I'm now also I'm going, just next week I'm leaving for 3 months to France for a fellowship. So that's a decision which, in fact, I would say I would have not taken. It was my husband who pushed me. No, you are getting a chance, you should go, and I will manage back. So I think it is always good, if you're alone, discuss with your family, with your parents, take a decision. Going to other country, it is difficult, it is not easy, but then talk to the people who are working there, look at other things, and then take a decision. So it is difficult to manage, but then now everything, all countries, I mean, anywhere you go, you will find Indians. Every third person is an Asian in any of the country, you would say. So it's, in my opinion, I would say yes. Think about it. Think it is going to benefit you. Is it going to bring change in your career, in your practice? Is it going to be helpful for your patients, for yourself? And does, of all the everything, does it gives you pleasure, or does it gives you happiness to learn that skill? And are you going to practice? If all these answers are yes, then probably yes, why not?
Okay. So I think while we are, listen, yet to get Atri back, I think I'll just start asking by a question to Keerat. Keerat, hi.
Sir, so
how's
nice
life?
to see
How's
you.
life? And I hope.
Yeah,
He's
I can.
back.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Carry on.
Yes.
Carry on. You carry
Yeah.
on.
Wonderful.
Hello, Dr. Nitin.
Yeah, Ranchi is known for power. Ranchi is known for power cuts, actually. So I had kept my mobile on standby just for this purpose. So now we want to move on to Punjab. Dr. Keerat, we selected you specially because we have watched your career that has really took off. Very young age, you first went to Chandigarh, you made waves over there. Now you're an entrepreneur at Ludhiana. So, madam, kindly tell us, for a young doctor, what may be the goals for success, happiness for a young doctor?
Thank you, Dr. Atri, for such an interesting question. Very thoughtful indeed. And I think I want to thank Dr. Krishna for bringing the CCI family together and talking about this as a family. Because certainly there's a safe space that family provides. I think CCI provides everyone that safe space. And why I say that, I'll come to that shortly. So coming to the question that you just asked me, goals for happiness / success for young doctors. I think happiness should not be confused with success. So it is not that when I achieve this and then I will be happy. So, and also stop looking at your contemporaries. Everyone has a race of their own. You are only going to grow with time. It's not going to get any worse. And trust me, for the young pulmonologists out there has never been a better time to be pulmonologist in India. I hope you all agree with me.
Absolutely.
You know, look at the advances, and it's become more interesting. There's so much to learn and there's so much to do. But let's not be overwhelmed by all that needs to be done, all that needs to be learned, all that we need, all the places that we need to get to. Finding your own pace is very important. And success slash happiness, the goals. It's very important to understand the happiness is really in the journey.
Recording in progress.
I would like to refer to this book I'm recently listening to because I've not been able to read it. It's called Ikigai. It was recommended by Dr. Vishal Randhawa from Meerut, the pulmonologist from Meerut, senior person. And he recommended this book called Ikigai. I never got around to read it, but I'm listening to it on Audible. And it talks about, centrally about loving what you do and being present in the moment and not multitasking in the sense what you're doing, you should put your full presence into it. You should be involved in it. You should be focused in it. So if you're home, you enjoy your family time. If you're going out and you're partying out more, and yeah, all the young doctors out there are going to go out more often, catch the movies when they're released. So please do that. Don't miss out on that because your time is passing. We are putting out the prime years of our youth, of our life, studying long hours at the hospital, doing night shifts, and we can only do it for such a long period of time. So make sure when you go to the hospital, you enjoy what you're doing. You involve with the patient. You are involved in, you enjoy the reading process, the learning process, and do not be scared. There's a thing that we talk about. It's called FOMO, the fear of missing out, and it's such a big thing. People think, oh, I'm so academically oriented. I am going to miss that family function. I'm going to miss that birthday. I'm going to miss that wedding because you know what? I have to be present at my duty. I remember volunteering to do a Diwali night, even though I was from out of the city during my post-graduation, and my colleague was from the same city. I said, oh, sure, I'll do it. And that was the last Diwali I could have had with my grandfather. So these things, they come back to you later. And don't miss those festivals. They're so beautiful. And we are blessed to be in a country like India, which has so much that we celebrate as family. And talking about the safe place, talking about goals and successes, talking about how we are in a better place now, we have platforms like CCI where we have a family to reach out to. If you feel alone, there's at least one person you can talk to, if not many. And I'll tell you my personal feeling is that when I want to ask something about tuberculosis, I feel stuck. I call Dr. Vikas Oswal. He knows, he's sitting here. So many times I bothered him, right? Sometimes I feel he must feel, oh, such simple questions she's asking. But really, I care for my patients. I don't want to mess it up. I'll do whatever is required. I'll go that extra mile and ask somebody who's really good at what he does. So many times I've bothered Dr. Narayan Pradeep for tuberculosis. So many times I've talked to Dr. Murli for some very interesting ILD cases. So we talk, and that safe place, that safe space has been provided by Dr. Krishna, and I would like to say I'm eternally thankful for that. I'm so thankful that because of CCI, I met somebody like Dr. Nitin, who's such a joyous and pleasant personality. And sir, we are sitting here, I'm looking at the screen, but your happiness, that it actually reaches everyone who's watching you. So thank you for being present. Thank you for being such a happy person. And happiness is really a journey. We have to find happiness as we go in different goals, personal goals and professional goals. We should not be limited by our goals.
Wow, what a wonderful message. I would want to relate a small anecdote here. I first met Dr. Richa in person. It was Varanasi NAPCON last year. And I was so scared. I would want to approach her. She is HOD of CMC. And I was very scared, madam, can I have 2 minutes of your time? And I introduced myself that I have heard so much about you. I just wanted to say hello to you. And just a few months later, there was one program at Yashoda, Hyderabad. And from far, she saw me, hello, Atri, how are you? And I felt like, wow, madam recognizes me. And so this is about CCI. This is about happiness. Another message I would want to give the youngsters out there, like Dr. Keerat said, that enjoy those family occasions. Not all Indians are lucky to have two weddings. That if you miss their first wedding, they will call you to the second wedding. That first wedding may be their one and only wedding. So make a point to reach those places. In my family, January 2021, we attended a cousin's wedding. May 2021, my father passed away. So maybe that was the last wedding I attended with my father. So even now, sometimes we just watch photos or videos of this wedding to see that, yes, my father is with me. So always attend those family functions. Life can wait. Patients can wait. Before you also, there was some doctor treating patients. After you also, there will be some doctor treating patients. So never miss those family occasions. From here, I just got a message from our background that there are over 1,000 people watching this webinar live today. So that's fantastic from all you people out there for the performance you all are giving. 1,000 live, middle of the week. That's super. Sometimes recently, doctors were started comparing to soldiers, army men, that you all are carrying out a war. Sometimes soldiers have to leave their family. I came to know that Dr. Ravi Dosi, during the COVID pandemic, he was actually forced to leave his family, although they were living in the same city. So kindly guide us. What were your feelings at that time? And what should people do when such scenario comes again? Dr. Ravi, please.
Well, Atri, somehow you have collected your information very correctly. First of all, really, I have to tell something about Nitin sir's presentation. It was something too good, and those sequence of photographs are amazing. Richa ma'am doesn't stop amazing. Still 3 महीने के लिए fellowship जा रहे हैं मैडम यार 10 दिन के लिए घर वाले नहीं जान देते अभी बाहर कहीं पे. So, well, Atri, I'll tell you one thing. See, my all the credit to that time goes to my parents and mainly to my wife. That first case of COVID which you had was incidentally admitted in my unit under me, and the next day that I went to the hospital, I took rounds and was surprised to find that neither my postgraduates, my colleagues, or anybody in my department has showed up on that particular day. And the thing continued. I realized that this is happening, and then the lockdown came. Once the lockdown came, obviously we were all of us were scared about it. We wanted to do a lot, but we did not know quite a lot about what was going on. So I was wanting to work. There was a lot of inquisitiveness, but at the same time, I felt actually afraid for my family. Ki yaar, main ghar jaunga, I don't know how this thing works, and if I pass this on to my parents or my wife, then this is going to be a disaster. I won't be able to forgive myself again. So initially it was a bit of fear that जिसमें 1 महीना निकल गया, फिर 1 महीने के बाद बैचलर हुड के आनंद भी आने लग गए. And then the remaining 5 months, it was a lot of work that it never came to know that 5 months have gone away. So 6 months away from home, then one fine day, we were sitting in our COVID area, and I put off my mask for the first time to have a birthday cake with the staff. And 2 days later, that guy came out to be COVID positive, and 4 days later, I came to be COVID positive. So that was how, after 6 months, just for a small cake party of her staff, I became COVID positive. And after that COVID, thank God, recovery ke baad mein I could go home. But those 6 months taught me a lot. It taught me the importance of family. It also taught me कि एक अच्छी बीवी होना बहुत जरूरी है, जो कि that me time and we time thing which is there. So at times, we don't, as doctors, have a lot of me time, but at least I think with your wife, we should try to have a lot of we time, because I think that gives a lot of comfort to you. There were instances where my wife used to come to the medical college घर का खाना देने के लिए, and across the corridor we used to talk, because we were really scared कि यार कहीं बात करके we come talk to each other कि बच्चों को pass on नहीं हो जाए, मम्मी पापा को pass on नहीं हो जाए. But still we managed. Somehow there was a very strong base support provided by my wife to my parents at that point of time, because believe me, a person can only perform professionally when the home background is very comfortable and things are going well over there. So the call of duty at times needs to motivate you to an extent that yes, you are there going to make a difference to that patient who is in front of you, to that particular life, not only of the individual, of his family and his society. And we need to understand कि ये जो बातें होती है बड़ी बड़ी सिर्फ बातें नहीं है. As a doctor, you actually have the power to do that. But at the same time, a doctor is also an individual who has a family attached with him. The family can never be neglected. At times, you get very busy, but whenever you are free, I think at least for 3-4 hours, you need to take out your family and go somewhere outside so that you cut off from the mundane and connect with them in a very, very, an atmosphere which is very pleasant and happy. Particularly if you have growing children, lot of my parents also keep on telling me कि यार ये छोटे हैं तब तक खेल ले, बड़े हो गए फिर तेरे जैसे हमको भी नहीं पूछेंगे. तो मेरा बस ये कहना है कि when your children are small, like Nitin says, photographs, the photographs you can change with a click on the computer. But between those clicks, there are so many wonderful moments, days, months, and years which we need to spend with them together. Howsoever little time we get, but we should try to meet our family and try to have a laugh with our family. Then the other things are fear, like you talked about. Fear definitely comes with our practice day in, day out, COVID or non-COVID. We often tend to have situations जहाँ पे कुछ ना कुछ problem आ जाती है. Either you get afraid from a medical legal issue, there is some attender climbing on your back or something happening, some untoward incident has happened. But I feel I personally am a religious person. I rely a lot on religion for my solace. I feel everybody should have a fallback thing to which you can fall back on and understand that you are not wrong. At heart, if you have a benefit and a positive image of what you are going to do, I believe that whatsoever happened, nothing bad is going to happen to you. And that's how I deal with it.
Wonderful. One message which I got from all the panelists out there, they all showered accolades on their life partner, maybe husband or wife. So maybe somewhere the clue to happiness may be a happy marriage. That may be sometime. And there used to be a very gender biased sentence that behind every successful man, there is a woman. Maybe today we should change it once and for all. Behind every successful professional, there is a spouse.
Perfect.
And another message we found, maybe this is for our nation and our government, that when doctors need some family time, it is actually boosting the economy. We take our family to some restaurant, some hotel, some resort, some multiplex. So maybe the government should encourage doctors to get more of family time, which is actually driving the national economy. I got an audience question and the gentleman does not want to be named, or it may be a lady also. I am not revealing the gender also. So we doctors need to tell people regarding moderation with respect to addiction. But this doctor has requested us that if the doctor chooses to take alcohol after a very busy day, what may be the safe amount, either daily or weekly?
Okay, I mean, if you have to scientifically answer it, I mean, there is nothing like safe amount. No doctor in the world can endorse it. But then, I think as you take the risk of crossing the road every day, despite the fact that the risk exists, so what if you are going to enjoy whatever amount, I wouldn't recommend going beyond 2 pegs or 2 glasses of wine, and not more than 4 times a week. If at all that has to be said in a metric. Very frankly, there is nothing like safe limit. Every drop is dangerous. It's not a very safe thing. Absolutely.
Looks like somebody's trying to validate
Yeah.
to this webinar, and it looks like some guy is and his wife is probably also watching the webinar.
Yeah, so wonderful.
The take home is there is nothing like safe amount of alcohol to be consumed. Nothing like safe.
So we can say that take home is do not take at home.
Sorry, one more thing over here. One more thing. It's a false belief that you need to consume alcohol or smoke to get high. You can get that high with whatever thing, even without addiction. Writing a poem is an addiction. Sir gets high in that. Me doing
writing one right now. I'm
I can
writing
hide
one
that.
right now and I'm going to read it at the end.
True. So trust me, even without alcohol or tobacco, there are many other ways in which you can get high. And just understand what makes you high. Start doing that. Just leave alcohol or addictive, abusive things aside, and that particular thing may definitely give you high.
Surely. Absolutely. Point well taken.
I would want to move on to Dr. Nitin now. He is our culture star, musician, poet. Lots of doctors perform during college fests, but then after that, due to PG entrance, rural service bond, that music talent, writing talent goes away. So, how do you find your energy during your busy practice, and how you would guide youngsters who want to continue with this creativity? Dr. Nitin, sir.
So I think it's all about the passion, and the work-life balance once again comes into the play. Because very frankly, I was the cultural secretary of my college. I did a lot of activities during that time. I wrote poems. Some of the poems which I've written at that time are today songs, and and so on and so forth. But if you really ask me, the early part of the career, it was very difficult to write a poem. In fact, I have attempted for about good 20 years, and I used to write on paper at that time. Today I write it on mobile. The world has changed completely. But then I think it's tough when you are really climbing. I wouldn't say success. You are struggling with your practice in the beginning years. So for good 20 years, I was not really able to get my creativity back. Very frankly, one big push came in 2015-16 when WhatsApp started, and WhatsApp brought all my doctor friends who were interested in music together, and that group has sort of put my poetry back on track, and that is now going from by leaps and bounds. So in fact, I have now more than 750 poems ready with me. One Hindi book is nearly ready. 4 books are totally planned. One is published, one is in the process of publication. So I think all that energy, of course, comes to you by the life around you. Very frankly, it's what you are doing is what we lost a dear friend, and in fact this webinar started after that dear friend's demise, and I wrote a poem in response to that. And so I think you are just responding to what is happening around you. So the creativity is necessarily God's gift. I don't think everybody can become say Shiv Kumar Sharma संतूर प्लेयर और जाकिर हुसैन तबला प्लेयर हो नहीं सकता. तो वो तो खुदा आपको कुछ ना कुछ तो देता है. God gives you something or the other in some form. You will have to nurture that and get it into a different level. Look at Vikas. I remember how unfit he was, and I look at him today. He's super fit, and look at those odd poses, sometimes bending backwards at your wife's whims takes you places, isn't it? Look at that, is a fantastic example of that. So I think it's not necessarily the creativity. It could be anything. It could be just any hobby. It could be any release which gives you a high. And as Vikas said, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be anything which is non-dangerous and still can take you places. So I think that's my simple and humble answer to the whole thing.
So one very beautiful message comes out that sometimes technology can make you come together. Technology can make like-minded people come together. I would want to go back 2 years ago when there were no physical meetings, but the doctors of the country needed to be trained.
Can I interrupt you for 1 minute? Because this is important.
Yeah, please.
On the technology front, the entire album, the Swara Hai Diwani, which we published, was composed on WhatsApp between me here and Mukul in Manchester, UK, Asmita in Liverpool. So one of our lead singers was in Liverpool. Some of the recordings were directed by Mukul on WhatsApp, and I would work here in a studio in Pune, or I worked with Shan in Mumbai, one of the studios in Mumbai, and I have taught him Marathi. I had to, because he doesn't know Marathi as much. So Marathi words have to be taught to him, and the director would sort of guide him from the distance. So the technology, in fact, this was a news in our my city when we released this, that WhatsApp वर निर्मिती झाली संगीताची. आणि संगीताच्या अल्बमची. So the entire thing was conceived, perceived, executed on technology-based platforms. And that's how the world is going today. So in fact, many a times we see this in today's scenario, that in a duet, people are not together singing. One person records it today, and the partner comes after 2 months and records the remaining part. And it can be done. So I think the whole idea is, it's the technology has definitely, I mean, I'm not saying get addicted to the technology. It can make constructive use of the available technology. Definitely.
Yeah, so just as I was telling that even during those horrible times, our CCI produced some wonderful COVID webinars, which maybe taught people how to use this drug rightly, what may be the indications of this drug, and somehow that was useful in changing the tide of the battle. I would want to move on to Dr. Richa. One very big reason we picked you for this webinar was you represent what is unity in diversity. CMC Vellore is like a melting pot. People from so many places live together, work together, and you being the director, the captain of the ship now, kindly tell us how you mentor these people from pan India, sometimes abroad, and how do you work with colleagues again from different backgrounds?
Thanks, Atri, for putting out something very important. So, yes, while I was working, while I was not heading the department, it was much easier, you just have to carry your work and finish off the things. But 4 years back, when I started, when I was given this responsibility of heading the department, that was the time when the whole hell actually broke down on me. And I was fine. I used to say, why people are saying there is no time, there is no time. If you just manage your time properly, you can actually. But then I came to know 4 years back, yes, there is no time. Probably God would have given some, say, 28 hours in a day or 30 hours in a day. Having said that, there are two things which I would say is, few principles I live by, and few things which I follow to run a big department and make sure that, we cannot make happy everyone, but at least there should be some discipline, and at least there should be something in common for everyone to go to the department, I would say. So one thing is, like, if you want someone or having a big department run together, there's quite a bit of a stress, as I said, but then live a life you want others to live, kind of show it. I would add to it, I say, being a leader in my department, I say that if I want my people to, work properly and think, then lead a life. So lead a life as you want others to live. A simple example of that would be, there was quite a bit of, indiscipline with regards to the various people coming to the department. At CMC, we start at 8 o'clock and we finish by 4:30. And of course, all of us know that 4:30 is not the time. It can be 5, 6, 6:30, but by 8, you have to come. That is mandatory. So some used to come at 8:15, some will come at 8:30, 9. So then for me, I believe to do excel or to do good in your life, discipline is something which you should be following it. And for discipline, first thing is the time management. So I ask everyone that, we should start academic activities, which we have on Mondays and Thursdays, and rest other days, procedures and OPDs, by sharp 8 o'clock. It should be started. So for that, I come in the department at 7:30. So, initial 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, people were, the same timing were coming. Then finally, all of them came on track. We start our academic activities at 8 o'clock sharp. So leading a life, what we wanted to. So this is one of the examples, I would say. Then to keep everyone in a loop, one thing is very important is keep communicating with them. Lack of communication is such a hell, and it brings so much of, I'm not getting the word, but it brings so much of inconvenience between the people, so much of misunderstanding. So what we do is, I make sure that once a month I meet all my postgraduates, all my trainees together, as well as one by one. I also make sure that I meet my other department, all staff other than the doctors, which we are a 70 people department actually. So I make sure that I meet with them also once in a month. And we are having an open forum. We speak, we talk, we discuss, and I'm open, though I'm very strict. Frankly speaking, people are scared of me, but at the same time, they know that if we need any time of help, or if we need any suggestions, they can come to me. So I'm open to them for any time. So being open, being conducive to them is something which, and communicating with them, understanding their problems, helping them out, but at the same time, maintaining the discipline in the department is a thin line, but I think it is easily achievable, provided you are living the same kind of life what you want your people to follow. And we are such a harmonious department, I would say. And each one of us know we celebrate birthdays. So anybody has a birthday, almost every day, you cut a cake because someone or the other will be celebrating a birthday. So small things, very small things, but that brings you more closer, and that brings harmony. And I think that is how we are doing it in our department.
We got few audience messages. Dr. S. Jayaraman from Chennai, he has expressed appreciation for all the panelists. And then we have two messages whom I believe are from Dr. Keerat's family. One is Mr. Sukhbinder Singh, who has told that living in the present is something very important. And other than Dr. Harpreet Kaur, who is telling that healthy body is very important for healthy mind. My next question to Dr. Keerat. This is a breaking the mold question, breaking the ceiling question. Indian female professional who is married, taking care of parents and in-laws, plus doing your work, competing with other colleagues who may have a gender advantage. How you do it, what message you want to give our other females who have asked me this question. Dr. Keerat.
Thank you, Dr. Atri. So for all the women who asked this question out there, I would say that first of all, if you're a doctor and you're a pulmonologist, already you've got an edge. You're in a really sweet field where you can, I hope you enjoy the work you're doing, first of all. And secondly, the challenge, really, what you see as a challenge may actually be a kind of advantage. For instance, I feel that my family, both my in-laws and my parents, they're super, super supportive. And I feel I have the best cheerleaders in the world. So my parents, they're both doctors. I understand when they watch CCI webinars, but my in-laws who are not doctors, even they will watch the webinars. I mean, what more can I ask for? And obviously you all know my husband, Dr. Nitin, who's like super supportive, and he's literally the wind beneath my wings. So family is what really fulfills our cup. And when our cups are fulfilled, we are able to give more to the people around us. We are more supportive to others. When we are already receiving all the love from our parents, from our in-laws, we are able to spread and share that love. So imagine somebody who comes to work already having had a bad start in the morning. What does that person need? They need somebody who's kind and who's willing to just be a little nice to them. And if at home you have that environment, that means you will not go to work in a bad mood. And that challenge part, I think, Dr. Atri, yes, some people may have some very serious challenges at home. In that case, they need to fix some boundaries, see what is good for their mental health. And again, I would refer to that book, Ikigai. It's a wonderful book, and it's a book recommendation I would like to share with everybody. So they say that whenever you think that you're not doing too well with somebody, or you think that things are not going too well, ask yourself, one, what is it that person has done for you? So gratitude comes in. Second, ask, what is it that you have done for that person? And then you might realize so many times that you might not have done the things that you could have done. And third, what is it that the person might be going through? Maybe the person is already dealing with a lot. Like, Dr. Krishna said that when you are dealing with things at work, you go home, your family might be still having their own share of troubles and problems that they're looking to you for support and for resolution. So not everyone can be strong, maybe strong at the same time. It's important to identify our strengths. For example, I know when my father is like, he's the most encouraging person in the world. Imagine when I was to choose my postgraduate field, he said, even if you do anatomy, you will do super well. The time will come, they will call the surgeon, will call anatomy people to tell which is the best place to put an incision. So even if you do PSM, SPM, you'll do very well. Imagine you'll make policy for the entire country. You can do so much service. So it's really how you look at things, your sense, your perspective. And my mother is definitely my biggest cheerleader. She'll tell me, oh, you look so bright. So just saying that in the evening when I see her, imagine what it does to me when I'm weary and tired after a long day, I'm seeing them. So these little things, they're so precious. And my take or my advice or what I would tell to women out there who think they're struggling, please understand all of this is so transient. Whatever time we have with our parents, with our in-laws, you might think, oh, these things are troubling. But this is so transient. So try to value what you get. And if things seem very difficult, try to be honest, try to be open, talk things out. If it still doesn't work out, then obviously things are pretty bad. But I think when you talk with an open heart, a lot of times new solutions come up, new bridges come our way, are made, and things are generally not as bad as they might seem.
So, two very beautiful messages from both the last panelists, that sometimes a little strictness and sometimes some boundaries actually help everyone in the long run. And one thing I would want to appreciate of Dr. Keerat's father, that our national medical authorities have actually taken his advice and they have removed the term non-clinical or pre and paraclinical, and everything is supposed to be clinical from now on. So that's something wonderful. I would want to move on to Dr. Vikas. This is a question which I wanted to ask you. Your daughter is an angel. You are a national celebrated speaker, and sometimes I want to emulate you. I also want to try to make a career in speaking with respect to health. So how do you do it, leaving your daughter sometimes traveling somewhere? Because recently I was blessed with two babies, one boy, one girl, and I find it very painful when I'm traveling somewhere for a meeting. So kindly guide me and others like me who want to go make a career in speaking, but how do we leave our family members and go?
First thing, I envy you because you have twins. No doubt you're going to struggle for 3 years, but after that, your life is going to be very beautiful because these both kids are going to play with each other. They are going to, actually make you both free very soon. So don't worry, so that you can spend some good time with your spouse very soon. I can imagine the struggle, but for these 5 years, definitely, as a parent and as a father, I'm telling you this, it's very difficult having a single child. And that too when one is actually traveling like at least once in 2 weeks, like once in 2 weeks I'm outside for a talk or for some other work. So yes, I would thank my wife because without her it wouldn't have been possible. uh, at least she was there to take care of her, and she supported me in many ways that go, it's okay, so just do your work whatever you're doing. But I just, it's very important to connect to your child in whichever ways you can and is possible with you. For me, the WhatsApp, I would thank WhatsApp. We used to do a video call, a dedicated video call, and used to talk to her nicely for good 15 minutes, so that she felt that connection that yes, at least wherever father is, but I can at least see him, I can at least listen to him. And that's how, even I used to feel a bit, that used to be a stress buster call for me. Like whatever, how much ever stressed you are entire day, that 15 minutes talk was more than enough. That one small single smile and three words in your ears from your daughter or your son, your child, is more than enough for everything. But that connection should be there. We miss on that many times. We just take it very casually many times. ठीक है, जा रहा है बाहर, पीछे है, wife संभाल रही है, it's okay. But no, we have to put in that effort. We have to take that time. We have to give that time to your child. It's very important. A child and father point of view. That's very important. No doubt they are being taken care by your grandparents. They have been taken care by your spouses over there. But you have to make an effort, which we don't do it knowingly, but unknowingly we just miss on doing the small things. So whenever I used to come back, I used to make a point. I used to bring something. But then the point had come, when wife started telling me, "Arey, tum bigad rahe ho, don't do this. Don't make it a compulsive, habit." Whether where she starts waiting for your gifts and not for you. Please don't do that. So then I changed that also. So I just made it not a materialistic thing, but let it be in an emotional way. That emotions should be, kept intact in place. Very important. Materialistic thing, we fail, and we have a myth that if I got something for her, she'll be happy. No, it's not a materialistic thing. It's an emotion and the direct connect which you need to do with your child or children. It's very important. That 10 minutes talk is more than enough from your side, which is required. In your busy schedule, you have to remove that time for your children. That's very important.
You were about to play a video, Dr. Vikas, a small slide of video.
So that small video was about the one of the yoga recently, which my daughter had just challenged me, Papa, आप बहुत बड़ा बड़ा ये करते हो, चलो देखो ये there was a video which was viral of female who was entering the car. So she just happened to tell me that ये करो तो बताओ क्या आप बड़ा बड़ा बात करते हो, and I just shared that. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was a small challenge which she told me. कि ये करो तो मैं जानूं, and this was just a first attempt, single attempt.
अरे वाह. क्या बात है, fantastic, man.
So there was a video
That's
of a
awesome.
girl
That's
which was
awesome.
actually viral on a World Yoga Day. It's a recent video on the World Yoga Day, the International World Yoga Day, and she was like, "Papa, आप बहुत बोलते हो यार, ये करके दिखाओ तो मैं मानती हूँ आपको करके." And I just went down like I was leaving for hospital OPD, and I just handed over my cell phone to my driver, and I just told, "चलो click करो करके." And he was like, "Sir, साहब क्या करता है तुम्हें? What are you doing?" मैंने तो click करना पापा. And I just removed my specs, my pen, and
because you are perfectly fit to live in Mumbai now. You can do anything.
So this is a message to everyone who are watching us today, that please have fun. Don't hesitate to get embarrassed. There is no embarrassment at the end of the day. At the end of the day, the happy memories count. We have a message from Dr. SK Toke, Pune, who is appreciating all of you out there. And I have a question from Dr. Anil Barkul to Dr. Nitin, sir. As you are approaching middle age, or let's say more than middle age, would you want to tell us about some life blunders or health blunders that you faced, and how you would want to give a message to everyone?
Yeah, I don't think I really made blunders, apart from falling in love too many times. But I think everybody does that. Well, but I haven't created any crisis. So but the health blunders, yes. In fact, I wouldn't say blunder, because I faced COVID just like you and Atri and Ravi did, and I was one of the first people to get COVID. So that was but the recent uh, unexpected thing which has happened to my life is I started getting generalized tonic-clonic convulsions just about 4 weeks ago, and it came from out of the blue. Most probably it is a post-viral kind of thing with all the workup, everything done was negative. I'm a sort of a pre-diabetic for a long time, and now a diabetic for the last 5 years or so. So I think, but then again, it is very well controlled. One thing which I must sort of, if I have to communicate to the younger people, is that in the early phase of my life, I wasn't exercising at all, and I took my weight to right up to around 85. And at the age of 37, when my daughter just had passed 10th, and I said, usko fitness ke liye main usko leke gaya gym mein, and the person, my gym instructor, looked at me and said, you require more fitness than her. So, she is much fitter than you. So then I took it seriously. And I think that was the blunder. I think that all the youngsters can avoid right now, that get into the gym, get into the physical activity early on, because at the age of 37, I had a cholesterol which was 275, triglycerides were 350. I had crazy kind of biochemistry. I was actually a frank diabetic then, and within 2 to 3 months of hitting the gym, everything was gone. It has stayed that way for last, say, 15, 16 years, and last 5 years only I'm consuming tablets. So I think one big blunder all doctors can fall trap into is inactivity. And I think that is preventable. And getting into an active lifestyle is critical, very critical. In fact, during COVID times also, I used to walk minimum 7 kilometers in my terrace alone. I have shown you the glimpses of that. So I used to just keep walking, or playing table tennis, or whatever it is, whatever you want to do, whichever way you want to. Today I cycle 5 kilometers and walk 5 kilometers. So I think every age, every time, everybody will have a different recipe of being active. But being active is critical. Get a smartwatch if that is what is needed. Get some kind of a motivator. Look at the data. Keep looking at yourself, introspect, and act on it. And the activity will take you places. There is no doubt about that. So once, and I'm sure Vikas is waving there. So I think this is something which can change your life for dramatically. Not only the quantity doesn't matter. I mean, that will look after itself. Kisne dekha hai kal. Lekin the quality will make big difference to you. So everybody who is fit and unfit, everybody who is thin, tall, heavy weight, whatever it is, please get active. I think that's one of the simplest, and because that's one of the important components of this work-life balance, that being active physically is critical.
Very important. Sir, I would like
Vikas.
to admit one thing over here. You won't believe I have wasted many years of my life. That is what I feel now, since past 2 years, because the point had come where I had touched 103 kgs. I was on antihypertensives, and I was OSA, snoring very badly. You won't believe this, sir. I was on CPAP for 2 months.
Wow.
And then the day had come where my spouse, your wife, she just woke up. She just removed everything at night. Either you choose to live along with this CPAP, or you choose to live along with me over here. You choose one among us. What do you want? So is it that difficult for you when you actually, spend your good more than 14 hours along with yourself, your patient, your interesting topics, tuberculosis, giving lectures everywhere, you get kick in that, but then you are missing on many things over here. You are missing on your personal life. You're messing with that personal life. You need to give that personal life to your daughter, to your wife, who is dedicated, supporting you in every ways today. So please choose amongst one. That was the time when I chose no. From right tomorrow morning 7 a.m. we are getting up and we are starting with whatever you tell me, you guide me, and I'm ready to do it. And since that day till today, 2 years, there have been any day which we have been absent, unless there is something really much occupied somewhere else, genuinely, or else we have made it a point, even if we have come to conference or somewhere else, wherever, 1 घंटा दिन में वो me and we time निकालना जरूरी है. She supported me. I just listened to her and I just gave up, surrendered myself. Okay, you do whatever you want, me to do. And trust me, now today I'm feeling so good. I'm able to focus on my work. I'm able to be, organized in my work. I'm feeling very happy and high and good in whatever I do.
Now I want to ask a very serious question to Dr. Ravi. This is a very serious question. Sometimes you get patients or prescriptions, let's say from periphery, which may not be accurate to you, and the patient may have deteriorated. And the patient or attendant is actually looking at you with hope that you will justify the inaccuracy of the prescription. How should we conduct ourselves at such a point to avoid something known as jousting? Dr. Ravi.
Excellent question, Dr. Atri. And very commonly we find the easiest thing to do is कि criticize कर दीजिए, अरे यार ये क्या बकवास चल रहा है, तो कुछ भी चल रहा है और ये और वो. But at the same time, I strongly feel that such sort of things should be consciously avoided. At times you see absurd prescriptions from the most unexpected of places, and the things which they tell are being told over them are actually shocking to you. They shake you to the core also at times. But I feel in principle, you have to believe in the law of karma. Whatever you give really comes around. So you need to be very, very smart and patient at that point of time. You need to talk about the disease, try to divert the discussion away from the prescription and what is being done to what has to be done. That is what I always try to do. I just try to concentrate कि ठीक है अब अभी ये condition है, आप अभी अब अपने को ये करना है, and this is what is required. This is what more can be done. I always try to add in a line कि actually they must be trying whatever is at their level best, and they want well for you. Just that one line I feel makes a huge difference, because then you know what happens, 10 में से 5 बार the person who wants to bring or shift a patient, I actually get a call from the hospital कि यार ये लोग आपके पास आना चाहते हैं, ये चल रहा है, please आगे का आप देख लेना. So I feel positivity in the smallest of extent helps you. Jousting is something which gives you momentary pleasure, but vouching for our colleague medically will give you a much more satisfying and a long-lasting pleasure.
Absolutely.
Wonderful message. Anyone, Dr. Nitin, you wanted to add something here?
No, I think he's put a bullseye, absolutely bullseye. Never badmouth your colleagues. There is nothing to be gained by that. I always say the previous doctor has knowledge limitations. I have knowledge limitations. There are people above me also. You may feel like going to say Dr. Azul Mehta in Cleveland Clinic or whatever it is. So, or Ganesh Raghu for ILD advice in, whatever, Washington DC. So I think there is nothing like a perfect doctor and perfect A. In that given circumstance, that doctor has given you the best. This is what my best is going to be, and we will make a best attempt to get you better. I think that's the better statement, and he has absolutely hit bullseye. Jousting takes you only temporary pleasure, and once in a while we always are tempted to do that. Everybody is tempted to do that, and you see that the general physicians of this country are completely not in control. They don't even know what a inhaler looks like, and sometimes they'll end up prescribing it, and then there's a mess there. The patient is in a mess, but don't take that wicked pleasure in front of the patient. You can smile at yourself inwardly कि ये थोड़ा सा गधा है, ठीक है, रहने दो उसको. लेकिन when you say something, उसने उसका previous best किया है, हम यहाँ से ले लेंगे, but I have a little better knowledge of this, and let me give it to you. I am going to give my best to you.
May I interject that we are as a country paying a heavy price for this particular behavior, in the sense that patients are losing and have lost faith in the doctors. And so the price we pay as a community is much higher. So it should be strictly not done. Also, we should refrain from saying, I feel very bad when somebody comes and say, oh, the doctor saw, the doctor was only MBBS, so only he did. I said, oh, he did the right thing. It's very important to do that. Why should we belittle our doctors? We should not do that. At any level, MBBS doctor is a doctor, they're trained, we should respect them. And if we don't, patient तो खुद 10th pass भी नहीं होगा जो उसको ऐसे बोल रहा है, right? And we should say, we should make sure that doctor is respected.
Absolutely. Very well said.
One question to Dr. Keerat. Dr. Abhishek Prajapati, our life member from Anand, Gujarat, has asked you, how should I train myself to tolerate humiliation and not react to the situation, as the reaction is often recorded but not the humiliation?
Okay, so that is a very peculiar question. I think...
Anyone else want to take? Okay, Dr. Keerat.
I can take it.
So,
okay, please.
So from what I understand is that sometimes when we are in an odd situation, so look at what could be here. What could be happening there? When humiliation could be in the sense that something that's going wrong academically or something that's to do with the patients. So in our field, both are happening, right? When I saw some interns being very ill-treated by postgraduates, I decided in my head, I'm going to make sure in my department this never happens. I'm going to make sure that every doctor, every RMO is also respected and doesn't feel like nothing. They're made to feel like that. We should make sure that doesn't happen. So that is one part. Other thing is conducting ourselves in very sensitive situations. Sometimes tempers are running very high. In the hospital setting, if that is happening, one thing is, do not put the blame on others. You might feel that the relatives are angry, attendants are angry. They feel, oh, patient was not taken care of, this was not done, or whatever they've been fed by somebody or whatever they've gathered over there. Make sure you do not blame it on somebody else. Try to tell them the team has, whatever best has been done. That is one part. Call the security, make sure the security is present. And then even if you feel like retaliating, telling them, at times they may not be receptive. Tempers and emotions are running very high. At that time, it's better to just hear them out and not react, really. Only react when things are under control. Otherwise, more often than not, you might regret. In case of academic situations where you feel humiliation, I think that's very short-lived. One should just realize that whatever your teachers are telling you is for your best. I think it's very important that even when I think I'm scolding somebody, it's very important that I have that connect with that person where the person knows that my intention is not wrong. And it's not difficult to pick up. Trust me. If you are trying to scold somebody or getting angry at somebody, or and it's with a bad intent, it will get to the other person. So to avoid that kind of situation and avoid that kind of humiliation, sometimes you have the power that you can give the other person a chance for face saving. That's also very important. So many times when the relatives come to you and they'll say, oh, the ICU team did this or something. So you have that ground where you can calm down and make sure that enemies also calm down. This is how I think I would look at it.
Thank you. Time is short, so we shall very quickly take one or two questions. Dr. Richa, ma'am, this question is for you. Recently in national news, we are seeing lots of sad story about some resident committing self-harm. Sometimes, unfortunately, they are succeeding. Sometimes, fortunately, they are not succeeding. But these sad incidents destroy the senior-junior relationship. So how would you give us a message regarding preserving the senior-junior relationship and how these students should not commit this extreme step?
Very, very, very pertinent question, I would say, Dr. Atri. And actually, because of these incidences and because of
on E7 to E5,
lots of news, actually speaking, what you have said, the relationship has certainly not what it used to be earlier. I think everyone sitting here in the panel or the people who are watching, who are from, who are not this younger generation would recall the times when we were doing our PGs, how many times we were scolded by our seniors, how many times we were corrected by the seniors, sometimes in a really bad, foul language also. But we were just ready to take it. We would feel bad at that point of time, but that is how the learning was. Having said that, I don't say that this is the right way to do it, but the things have become so thick now that you are really, really scared of saying any harsh word to the juniors, because they may go to the grievance cell, they may complain against you, they may just leave the course, they may call parents, and lots of other things. So it is really something which is haunting us as well. So probably making balance between, see, if they are doing wrong and if we are not correcting, more than that, the person whom we are treating, especially for us, the patients who have had sincere faith in you, who have come all the way and have given your life in your hand, will suffer. So it is very, very important that we are not engineers where we work with the machines, we work with human life. And any kind of ignorance, any kind of we cannot play, we cannot have mishaps. So it is very, very important to correct, but then you have to have a balance between how you are speaking. Probably we should not be judgmental, first of all, for any person. We should not have our biases toward any person. And with that in mind, probably be strict, but at the same time, should not be scolding or should not be overpowering, but give them a strong message that this needs to be corrected, and this could be something which could be very, very detrimental for the patient or for your work life itself. So we are changing the way we used to deal with our trainees or with the juniors, say 10 years back, and now it has completely changed now. But then that is how the things are going to be. As I said earlier also, communication is a very, very strong bridge between the junior, senior. And while many of I don't get time, but many of my consultants in hospital, we are different, and as we finish our duty out of the hospital, we are totally different. We become really friends, and we just talk, and we speak, we go to picnics together, we go for dinners together, and we talk about each other's family life and how their kids are doing and those kind of things. So you need to have a life with your colleagues, with your trainings out of the department as well. That will certainly give them a little more confidence in you, and they will believe that whatever you are saying for their good. But yes, time has changed, and we have to be really, really very careful in how we are dealing with our juniors or trainings at the moment. In these times, in these present times.
Wow. Last question. After that, we shall quickly ask the summary from everyone. We often deal with poor prognosis. Some people we know will not make it despite our best effort. Dr. Vikas, when you deal with XDR or something now known as TDR or PAN-DR, so kindly tell us how you conduct yourself, number one, in front of someone while breaking the bad news. Secondly, when you go home and realize that this person was with you for last 6 months to 1 year to 2 years, and now that person will not be anymore.
Would like to start over here with my first patient of my department, and I still remember the name. That is how my journey started in field of tuberculosis. When I got my admission into my postgraduate, I am just a diploma guy, then DTCD from Divya Patil Pimpri, and one more thing over here, never run behind degrees. Do not, aim high, no problem. But do not just run behind MD, DM and all. It's okay. Even if you are MBBS, even if you are diploma guy, even if you are MD or DM, just give your best shots over here, whatever you can. Whatever comes from heart, trust me, that reaches the heart of the opposite person. That is very, very much important. My first patient, Krishna Kaur, I still remember him, who unfortunately passed away with XDR TB. And he was somewhere in one of the corner of our ward. And when I just approached the patient, that time I was being told by other staff, sir, वहाँ पे नहीं जाओ करके, don't go over there. So I just happened to ask why, what's wrong? And then someone told me, usko XDR TB hai. So, what is XDR TB? I never heard that term XDR TB in those days, in 2000, some 12, 15 years back. And then when it's a human nature. When someone tells you no, it's mentality, human mentality. You first go over there and see what's happening over there. So that's how I reached over there, and I just asked the person to show me the file. And I was surprised to see that there were around 300 X-ray chests lying along with him, his own. 300 X-ray chests? How is it even practically possible? I don't know. And then I just happened to go home and read what's DRTB, what's XDRTB. And that time I understood that what the problem is, the seriousness of the situation. And then, the time teaches you everything. Patient teaches you everything. You just have to be yourself from heart by heart. So I understood the story. Wife left him, father left him, everyone left him. Only father-in-law was along with him till the end, till his death. Why? Because he did something for his own brother and he got DRTB. And now he was in the situation where even he knows that he's also going to pass away very soon. But father-in-law was along with him because he know he did something really good for his brother and he has got this disease. So we have to counsel our patient, not only alone, single-handedly over there. You need to counsel your patient, including the family members. You need to counsel your patient in front of in-laws, in front of wife, spouse, children. That is very important. You need to make them understand that what is he going through. He was going through a very bad mental trauma. I think disease did not kill him. It was the mental trauma which killed him. So probably if he would have got support, not only from one single old father-in-law, but if he would have been lucky enough to have support of his entire family, maybe he could have fought the disease very easily and faster. Maybe. So you need to have a good support of family members. It's a long-term disease of 2 years. Just imagine, हमको जब लूज मोशन होता है हम 3 दिन से ज्यादा दवा नहीं लेते हैं. ओफ्लॉक्स ऑरेंडाजोल अगर चालू भी किया तो 2 दिन में जुलाब बंद होता है, हम बंद कर देते हैं. We don't even complete a course of 5 days. How would we expect our patient to consume pills for 24 long months? Humanly next to impossible. Side effects, ADR. You need to tackle and counsel them very much. Time to timely counseling, very important. But that should happen in front of family members. So the journey starts from day 1 of seeing the patient till the end of the patient. When you see, when relatives see that yes, patient, that doctor is actually guiding you appropriately, he's actually, very much worried for you, he's concerned for you. When they see that serious concernedness, that time they don't see any degree of the doctor over there that he kahan pe kitna pada hai karke. Now the point has come where I get intercity references, inter-country references only for the disease tuberculosis. And I'm very happy that, and I proudly tell that I'm diploma guy. It's okay. I don't need to focus on that degree over there. But why? Because we do our work from heart. You need to connect patient's heart. Along with family members, you need to help them out mentally, physically, family support in every way. That is very much important. So breaking down the news of the sad news or the bad news, patient also, accepted many times. Sir, you did your best. I know you're doing your best. Sir, I'm ready. I know I've already received many statements from other consultants and doctors. I know I'm going to go. but you do whatever you can is possible with you in your hand. I have faith in you. I've heard your stories. I have heard your patient stories. So that stories comes out only when they see that you are doing your best, you're giving your best shot over there. So just give your best shot. Whatever message you want to convey, you don't even need to convey that message. Patient has already understood it. Relatives have already understood and accepted it. They won't harm you in any ways because they're seeing you that yes, you are doing your best and you are doing it. You're giving your genuine this over there, genuine shot over there. That is very much.
Yes, yes, your sincerity speaks for yourself. Absolutely, no question about it. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. As we come to an end, Dr. Richa had to leave because there's an emergency patient and she wanted to be with her resident at this time because it is something very critical. So we definitely appreciate her dedication and her commitment to the youngsters also. So now very quickly, take home message, Dr. Keerat ma'am.
I think my take home message would be to do something that you can do for yourself, as in take out some time. It could be spending time with family, spending time with your spouse. It could be working out, going to the gym or doing yoga. But also for the people around you, create a happy environment. If they are happy, if your staff is happy, if your patient who's not doing too well hears one good positive thing from you in the morning, their day will be nice as well and they'll go home happier.
Dr. Ravi Dosi.
रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बहार के. To all my colleagues, to all my Rahis out there.
Well said.
Dr. Vikas.
रवि दोषी स्टाइल. जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है. आज गम है तो कल खुशी, हर गम के बाद खुशी. I'm sorry, I'm
Mr. India, yaar.
जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है. Do not worry about failures. Don't worry at all. Trust me. Each and every person is going to do their best in life. We are already destined to do best. हमने किसी का बुरा नहीं किया है, हमारा बुरा नहीं होगा. Do not worry. Just do nicely. Do whatever you can. थोड़ा करो, कम करो, अच्छा करो. Smile लेके आओ. अब खुद के face पे smile आएगी. Do it for your own self. Trust me.
Beautiful. Dr. Krishna gave a message that every doctor should have this habit of reading a book other than your medical. Dr. Krishna waits for a Kannada superstar, Mr. Vairappa, that whenever this gentleman's book comes, he makes it a point to read it in one day. So doctors have this habit of reading books. Dr. Nitin, sir.
As I told you, I have been writing a poem throughout this webinar and a little before this, and this is related to work-life balance. So I hope you appreciate it, and I'm going to end on this. हर शख्स ढूंढे खुद को यहाँ पर, हर शख्स ढूंढे खुद को यहाँ पर, बहुत कम पहुंचे हैं सही से मौका पर, बहुत कम पहुंचते हैं सही से मौका पर. हर आईना है धोखा यहाँ पर, झांको जरा दोस्त इस दिल के अंदर. हर आईना है धोखा यहाँ पर, झांको जरा दोस्त इस दिल के अंदर. ये जिंदगी इम्तिहान सा सफर, ये जिंदगी इम्तिहान सा सफर, मेहनत कड़ी रंग लाती जरूर. काम तो करना ही है उम्र भर, काम तो करना ही है उम्र भर, जीना भी भूलो ना मेरे हुजूर. काम तो करना ही है जिंदगी उम्र भर, जीना भी भूलो ना मेरे हुजूर. कुछ पल तुम्हारे रखना जुदा, खुशियां छुपी है ढूंढो जरूर. कुछ पल तुम्हारे रखना जुदा, खुशियां छुपी है ढूंढो जरूर. होती है बारिश खिलते हैं गुल, पत्तों पे शबनम छाए सुरूर. कुछ पल तुम्हारे रखना जुदा, खुशियां छुपी है ढूंढो जरूर. होती है बारिश खिलते हैं गुल, पत्तों पे शबनम छाए सुरूर. और ये आखिरी है, और ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस के लिए. घटती है पल पल ये जिंदगी, घटती है पल पल ये जिंदगी, कहना है गुड बाय एक दिन जरूर. घटती है पल पल ये जिंदगी, कहना है गुड बाय एक दिन जरूर. जियो मुस्कुराओ जी भर यहाँ, जियो मुस्कुराओ जी भर यहाँ, लो लुफ्त हर पल जीना जरूर, लो लुफ्त हर पल जीना जरूर. Thank you very much.
Dr. Krishna has just sent a message. Patient call doctor as God. But in reality, for us doctors, patient is God. Because our existence is only because of them. Our life runs only by patient. We are indebted to them. So we take oath to always take care of them like our family members, and we want to abide by it. To everyone to CCI who's listening, CCI is always listening to you. Whenever you are in depression, whenever you are not happy, we are always there. We are just a phone call or WhatsApp away. Trust me, I speak to more CCI life members after 11 p.m. till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. There is no hesitation. We are always listening to you. Thank you to our technical partner, Blueberry. Thank you to the people behind Dr. NH Krishna, Dr. Narayana Pradeep, the webinar coordinator, Dr. Chennam Chetty, the current office bearers, Dr. Ashish Dubey, Dr. Anil Maske, the anonymous team who are always working there, Dr. Keerat, Dr. Shivani, Dr. Nitin, Dr. Rajadhar, for what we brought today. Stay happy, celebrate life. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.